All right. Happy Monday morning. Welcome to the Scorched Earth podcast. We're in the sports side of it. We're going to do something a little different. I'm going to kind of section them off. I'm going to do one sports podcast about general sports, and then I'm going to probably do one or two on maybe something a little more specific. Hope your weekend was good. If you could, please hit the like and subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Leave your comments. Tonight, or this morning, I guess, we are going to talk about golf. Now, I'm telling you, I'm an assassin when it comes to golf. I'm really, really good at it. I picked Campbell to win. I wasn't too overly enthusiastic when we got to the playoff, I'll be honest with you. Aldrich Pogacar is a monster. That kid is a comer. This was the course for him. Campbell still got it done. Kudos to him. Guy's been grinding it on the major tour for almost 10 years. And went back to the Corn Ferry. Pretty successful there. Got back out to the main tour. It's life-altering money. Winning, the money is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're all happy about it. But that 2-year exemption, we saw at the Mexico Open, for the most part, it was basically guys under the top 50 who wanted to go up there, get a really nice finish, move up in the FedEx points, in the money list, get entered into other different tournaments. Maybe you can get a player's exemption. And you could see a significant difference when Scheffler and McIlroy are playing versus these guys. These guys it's like the major leagues versus AAA. The golf is still really good. They're just not quite as good there. And I will say that there was some things I really enjoyed with the telecast. Dan Hicks was down there for NBC. He's not going to let go of that. Let me tell you something. He's going for everyone. He ain't taking a week off. The color guy was between Noda and Brad Faxon pretty much. And Brad Faxon, he was a very, very good tour player, really a great putter, especially for a right-hander. I thought he had some really interesting things to say about it. Noda Begay, he's all right. Honestly, he's only out there because he was Tiger's buddy. He would get the one or two interviews with Tiger a year, and they would literally keep him hired because of it. He criticizes quite a few people. I like that. I think he was being fair with this criticism. But I will say this, and I was kind of perplexed by NBC. They're sitting there, and understandably, they're talking about how the players aren't stepping up, they're making mistakes. I get it, and I think their criticism was actually very accurate. But what I will say is NBC's coverage was shit. It was terrible. I can't tell you how many times I heard this out of Bones. Oh, this is tracking. Oh, wait, it's 20 yards short of the green. Noda Begay, oh my gosh, that's right on the pin. Oh, it's in the trap. I literally heard that for the last hour. I mean, you want to hold the players to a certain standard. I get it. I'm down with it. I applaud it. But you know what? Step up your game. Let's not be 30 yards off. Okay? And if you want to sit there and complain that McIlroy would have hit it on, well, McIlroy ain't there. You've been watching these guys for 3.5 days. Maybe you have an idea how far they hit the ball. Grow up. I do not, for the life of me, first of all, NBC made a great move getting rid of Azinger. That dude was terrible. That guy was crap. That guy was worse than crap. What do they say about the guy underneath the whale feces at the bottom of the ocean? That's where Paul Azinger is. Paul Azinger never made a good comment. He never brought anything insightful to the booth. I mean, what a step down that was after Johnny Miller was the greatest color commentator ever. We got Paul Azinger. And then Paul, when the Ryder Cup would come, his last event for NBC, He would it was literally like, let's just pump up the American team. I remember the controversy that was going with Patrick Cantlay, didn't want to wear the hat, a lot of rumors of Patrick Cantlay wanted to get paid, and all of a sudden, Paul Azinger's running to his defense because he can't get there quick enough and say, oh, it's just internet trolls. And then we find out there's some validity to it. A lot of news sources were reporting it. Of course, Paul Azinger isn't a news source, and I am so glad NBC fired him. Of course, like everything else, he resurrects on the Champions Tour. And I will tell you this, I will not watch one Champions Tour event when that empty windbag is on. Okay. I do not understand for the life of me why NBC doesn't just bring Brandel Chambly in. I understand he's controversial, but I really think in that sport, he is one of the very few guys who hasn't been corrupted. Doesn't mean I agree with everything, but I will say this, his take immediately on Phil Mickelson when he went to LIV was spot on. He was dynamite. I think he calls out. The stuff he says about Patrick Cantlay, I do not hear from anybody else in the golf world. And I think it's true. I think Patrick Cantlay thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and maybe he is. But you know what? Maybe he ought to start winning too. Because you know what? This guy's a top 10 machine, and this guy's going to make his $8-10 million a year. Hey, kudos to you, man. You made some big putts in the Ryder Cup. But let me tell you something. I had him a couple years ago when he led on the 15th green at Augusta, and he choked it out. Okay, let's see. I'm tired of this. He's 3 back with 4 holes to play. He gets 2 birdies and loses by 1. Oh, he's coming. Yeah, right, he is. That guy just don't have it, okay? Maybe he's going to get a major. I think he's probably going to get a PGA, but okay, whatever. He's a great putter. He's going to make insane amounts of money. And I applaud him for not going to LIV. But, man, Brandel Chambly is spot on that dude. Let's move on. Okay, so we had a 2-hole playoff. Like I said, I told you Campbell was going to win last night. I was real worried when Campbell went against Aldrich Portugues. That kid just hits the ball a mile. And the first hole on the playoff, Portugues kind of sprayed it out to the left, was in trouble. Really, really did a nice job getting it in there for a par. I thought Campbell kind of choked there, couldn't get it up and down. All right, so we go to the second hole. And then Campbell, literally after 10 years of grinding, got the biggest break of his career. He skied it out of bounds. And I mean, this thing was going 50 yards out of bounds. Hit a tree, bounced in. He made a birdie. Portugues, just didn't quite get there. He got the par. It's a tough break. I always root for the guys who come from the Korn Ferry Tour, because those guys are real grinders. They're golfers. They believe, they all love the game. Don't get me wrong, but they got a more pure love because you really just don't know when your moment's coming. I'm happy for Brian Campbell. It was nice to see his fiancée there. Gets 2-year exemption. I mean, I can't even imagine, wow, I'm in the Masters, I'm in the Players, I'm in all the majors this year. Oh my God. Good for you, Brian Campbell. You're a grinder. I love you. And I guess we'll see what happens next week. We'll see what his schedule is with the Florida swing. But it was a great tournament. We saw a lot of names. I liked Jaeger. He had a really good tournament. Aldrich obviously had a fantastic tournament. They say that he's going to win. Yeah, I get it. I mean, that's what you always say when you come in second. But he's going to have to find courses with very little rough. Vegas, places like that, where his prodigious length is really, really going to be an asset, and it's not going to be penalized when he sprays it. All right, that's the wrap up on the world of golf. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me your comments. Hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate it. And I will... we're having a little problem here. We're having a little problem here, kids. I'm not being able to get out of the video. All right, there we go.